Oh, there we go. Now, I don't know how long this thing is going to go for, but we're going to see how this goes. So, welcome everybody. This is DJ81 on that channel Skins for Life. I have a guest. First time doing a multiple man podcast. This is Christopher Davis, known as Spectacular Pooh on Twitter. He's an Eagles fan, so this is not the marriage that you thought would be on this channel. So, Dallas, that's all that matters. But Chris, introduce yourself a little bit more.
Well, like what DJ here just said, yes, I am an Eagles fan. But in more to it than that, I not only do I have a Twitter, I post YouTube content mostly on the Eagles on one channel, mostly on gaming on the other. I also have a Twitch channel as well, so I'll explain those at the end of the video because I'd rather not let all that get in the way of this. And what's going on? Okay, sorry about that. And I guess that's pretty much all you guys need to know for now. Just know that we all hate Dallas, and that's the main goal.
Yeah, and what's his name? D'Angelo Williams said it best.
Yep.
Those fans are obnoxious as hell.
Oh, yes.
So if you don't want to play for Dallas, just talk about their fans and say that their biggest star is Jerry Jones. All you need to upset or trigger a Dallas fan.
Yep. Now, I just ran into a Dallas fan that said the Cowboys are going to go 15-1. Like, oh, man.
They always say they're going 15-1.
Here we go again.
Remember the year they said they were going to host it? They were going to go to the Super Bowl that they were hosting?
Yeah. Yeah, that was funny.
We're going to go to the Super Bowl, and we are going to be the ones hosting. We'll be the first ever. I don't know if they would have been the first ever home team to host the Super Bowl, but oh well, they didn't make it. And then last year they lost round one. Actually, it was the divisional round, but either way, they lost that game to the Packers. So screw them.
Lost that game badly. Sheesh, thank God.
All right, so why are we here? Now, the Sim Standard podcast had Deuce Douglas, who is now Twitter famous, his post that he originally posted last year around, let's see, it was July 16th. So we're 2 days, a year removed from his original post, in which he talked about the CFM and how it could shape for Madden and how it should meet or exceed the standards of what other games have done as far as their franchise modes, like the MLB, the shows, the NBA 2Ks. So recently he put an update to it, and we're basically just going to go through it. Now, we're not going to go through every single aspect of it, as Pooh found out when he first looked at it just a few seconds ago, that no amount of quick reading will get him through this.
Oh, God.
So with that being said, we're just going to jump right into it. Now, I like the quote that he starts off with. And this was a quote that I don't know exactly who it came from. I don't know if it came from Rex. I don't know if it came from Clint. I don't know if it came from a Madden fan, which there are a bunch of them that I'll speak on that afterwards. But the quote says, and let me just post that there, says CFM is already good. Pooh, what do you think about that?
Well, it's not to say it isn't already good. It isn't good. It's just saying, like, it needs to. For me, in my case, it needs to be a little more better. Like, really, for me, Madden hasn't been all that good of a franchise mode, in my personal opinion, since like Madden 06. When they had the radio show and everything.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot who was doing the radio. Who was the voice behind the radio? But
it was Tony.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was a good franchise mode in its time, and it seemed like soon as it hit, let's see, because you're talking about PS2 at that time.
Yeah, I think
And
Yeah, I think it was Madden 10. It was when it really started to get a little bit stale because with Madden 08 and 2009, they kind of made up for it when they brought in the ability for you to like do the NFL Combine, even though that was always there, but doing it on the
right.
360 and PS3 was a bit special.
Yeah, because I know Madden 08 on PC, they had not only the gameplay to back it up, but they also had the features in their franchise mode. I have Madden 08 on PC. I know a lot of people that if you're able to download it because pretty much gameplay-wise, it has everything you would want, minus the physics because it's a dated game by now, physics-wise. But franchise mode-wise,
Yeah,
is basically everything you should want in a Madden game. It should be there, but obviously for reasons like gameplay cleanup, we've had franchise mode just go stale ever since Madden 12. Like Madden 12, I remember I did a video a few years back going through Madden 12's franchise mode, and that was deep at that point in time. But now if you watch Madden 13, I think 14 was 25, 15, 16, and 17. And franchise mode is, in my view, has lost its way.
Oh yeah, most
All right.
definitely. I think it was introduced in Madden 13, and since then it hasn't really been all that great.
Yeah, I would agree. All right, so I'm going to start up with CFM startup. Now, he has more options available that there currently are, because currently in CFM you have owner, head coach, and player as your three standard modes or viewpoints that you can play from. Now, commissioner would actually be something you can do online, because you got commissioners all over YouTube talking about, well, when I run this league, I do this, I set these rules and stuff like that. So that's in there in the online aspect of it. It's funny because you look at the owner and the GM, the way they've been portrayed in games is almost the same. But when you look at NBA 2K's My League with my GM, you definitely see a separation between the owner and the GM. And the one thing I like about My League is that you have the ability to eventually become the owner if you have enough. I think if you have enough VC. So that's one aspect I like about it. And then of course, nugget here is the coordinator, because everybody's been crying for coordinators, because it's one of those things where if you're trying to develop particular parts of your team and you're just stuck with the head coach's ratings on offense and defense, nothing to maximize a particular side of the ball or a particular position. So
Most definitely agree. I mean, like you see, I think we see it right now when you control a player on the CFM. Really, they have it so that you can only play on that side of the ball. I think it would be exactly the case if you're a coordinator. The only thing is that you'll be able to control every player or something like that. I think that would be like I think that would be a better idea anyway. Just have it so you can focus strictly on that coordinator and not having to focus. If you're the head coach, having to focus on both the offensive coordinator and the coordinator, and even yourself to a degree, or even the players. So I think what he did, having more options with that. I really think Madden should be looking at this guy for what he's given them with these ideas. Coordinator is definitely one of them that caught me by surprise, as much as it was with GM or something like that.
Now, as we speak, from watching the podcast, the Sim Standard podcast last night, there were a couple of people in the chat that let it be known that the devs are currently looking at this post and looking at it hard, Pause. But it's one of the things. Yeah, I had to make sure I had the pause ready for that one because people double way thinking. You can say whatever and you think it's innocent. But they're currently looking at this now. We could talk about I can look at this sheet of paper I have in front of me, but does it mean I'm going to act on it? It remains to be seen. And it's not like they tell you everything planning wise that they're going to do with their mode. So if they're looking to implement a lot of this stuff that Deuce, wrote and put down, which is professionally done. I can't get over how professionally done the whole thing is. So it's the instance of feedback that automatically will get through.
I'll be honest. I hate to interrupt, but I'll be honest. This looks better than how Madden 17 looks like when you try to, select screens and this stuff like that. And this looks way better than that.
Matter of fact, that was one of the things I actually took note of, the franchise UI, and we're just gonna go right to that. Let me see. There it is. Now, he even notes that he took from NHL 17, which in my opinion was perfect. First of all, Madden's current UI, Deuce even pointed out, it's like you have to go through. Well, everyone who's played the CFM knows the frustration of going from screen after screen, tab after tab, having it you can't even get to the NFL stories unless I think there's one button for it, but even so, it's buried under a bunch of menus. It's dark. It's a dark menu. It's more likely to put me to sleep than keep me playing. Strain my eyes trying to see, different stats and looking at the depth chart. It just seems like they were just and I'm not saying this that the devs were uninterested in making or maintaining this mode. It just seemed like the idea was, we're just gonna do whatever. That color is fine. They'll deal with it and go from there. So the franchise UI definitely was exactly off NHL 17, which is perfect. You look at what you have here as far as your CFM style, your game style ratings. I'm like, anybody who's watching, you can see this on the screen. I know, Pooh, you see this as well.
Oh yeah, you can see just about everything.
Yeah. So we look at injuries, sim game, injury slider. I'm like, position, injury slider. I'm telling you, we're just going to breeze through this because there's no need to go into it word for word. We just pick up where we see something that points out. Like I said, and I took notes. So I have already what jumped out to me. There's a lot more than what jumped out to me, pretty much in the postseason, the off season, stuff like that. A lot of these setups will actually help keep me playing, and also presentation elements will help as well. But go ahead, Pooh, use Gray.
Yeah, the injuries severity, that one right now is sticking out to me a lot. And that along with the position injury slider, because we all know as much as anyone else that the most position that gets injured, in my personal opinion, it has to be the offensive lineman and defensive lineman.
Which was absent last season.
Yes, off the ball injuries like that. And they get rolled up so much. It's not even funny to me. It makes me scared. It makes me scared for any offensive lineman, defensive lineman that has to play together, because you have the potential of just that, of getting rolled up or have something land on you, and boom, that could potentially be your season, or potentially be you being out for a few games, which your team might need you for. So for me, I'm honestly I'm actually kind of happy to be looking at this in front of my face and reading this, because this is something that should have been in games quite a while. And honestly, I would argue even 2K to this extent, because even though 2K does have off-ball injuries, I don't think it was this detailed to this extent. where you have someone roll up on you like that, and then that's like an ACL injury right there.
Yeah,
So
they with the way 2K. Let me cut you off real quick. The way they presented off-ball injuries in 2K was actually innovative. Just to throw that in there. Anybody who's a 2K head that's watching, my background in playing football games included the 2K series. All Pro Football 2K8, I thought was the better football game than 2K5, but everyone wants to hold 2K5 as being the only as that up on the pedestal NFL game that no one can beat, which I think it got beat like 2 Maddens ago, but that's another story.
yeah, I agree.
But as far as the off-ball injuries, All Pro Football, I thought did it the best. And it was just funny when you would see people like pull up lame, like pull a hamstring, somebody's legs would go out. Like I remember one time I did like the season mode and I lost Tony Baselli in game 1 for the season with the ACL injury. And when I watched him try to block, I saw his leg just give out, and I knew right away that he was gone. I'm like, and it affected the way I had to play. I couldn't take those 5 to 7 step drops without Tony Baselli. I had like Joe Schroeder left tackle, and there were games I was going up against Reggie White, Jones, and they were using stunts. And I was like, shit, this is not gonna work.
See, so, you see exactly what happened when you lose that key piece on your offensive line, or better yet, at any position. Unless you can't prepare beforehand and you got like this, extra wide receiver, extra running back that, you can't prepare for. But what I was talking about, what I was talking about in terms of like the offensive line, I mean, like, really, that's where I see it with, 2K and Madden. Really, I can see this happen a lot more in Madden because you see a lot more, I guess ragdoll physics, with Madden, but more so than 2K because there's never a lot that I see in 2K8 or even 2K5, and for that matter, that I would see a lot of off-ball injuries involving the offensive lineman. I mainly see it when it goes to the secondary or when it goes to the wide receivers or even a running back to a slight degree. But to touch back on your point for why people think 2K5 is better than 2K8, I'm not going to talk about that in terms of the license, but I will say in terms of this. With 2K5, I think with 2K5 you can scramble a lot better than you could with 2K8 because 2K8 is just nothing but pocket passing.
You know what? You're right about that. You are absolutely right. The only people that you could scramble with in All Pro Football 2K8 was like Randall Cunningham, or if you created like RG3 at the or Donovan. I remember I created Donovan McNabb at one point. Those are like the only people you could scramble with.
Exactly, and even then, it's still hard to scramble with them because they don't run as fast. Like you have to put in like since I'm still playing 2K8 right now, what I would do is I would put in like quick feed, speed burner, or something like that, quarterback scramble, mobile quarterback. You have to put in like 4 or 5 abilities in order to make the quarterback truly run his fastest, and that's not even fast enough compared to 2K5. I mean, like you play with 2K5 on Michael Vick, he's basically getting like a 20-yard run. So that's how it is. It's not even. It wasn't even just Madden, people. It wasn't just Madden 04.
The man was truly the human cheat code, along with like some other guys like Dante. What is it, Dante? I'm trying to remember his name. Dante Hall.
Dante Hall, Devin Hester, Randy Moss.
Devin Hester.
Randy Moss. I'm like, yo, man, those people, like, sheesh, it was just so crazy. I still remember to this day when it was Madden 04. Speaking of that, where my friends told me this, like, yo, if you're gonna pick the Falcons, either your teammate picks the Falcons or nobody picks the Falcons. That's it.
They had to make it a rule.
Yep.
Right. Because I know a lot of people used to line up in like the full house backfield with Vic in that game, and it was just crazy because it's like, Vic was coming out backfield, but you had like other runners, like even had like loafing TJ Duckett back there, and it was just like you got this fast ass QB, you got this powerhouse but sucky running back in TJ Duckett that can just barrel through people, and it's just like your defense. If you were stuck on a long drive with the Atlanta Falcons, you had no option but to take it.
Yeah.
You had to account. I'm like, obviously you had to account more for Michael Vick, but you could. I'm like, when you got T.J. Duckett, it was like, oh, and you know the rest.
Yep. You're done.
Pretty much. All right, so moving along. Let's see. Let me just go through this a little bit. A lot when it comes to like the trade difficulty, free agency difficulty, and negotiation difficulty. That reminds me of my league right off the gate as far as the settings, because
Yes.
they're
Something like
directly
that
in
needs to
there.
be in here. Something like this
Mm-hmm.
needs to be in the game because I've seen it way too many times already. Again, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I've seen it way too many times in Madden to where they'll make a crazy trade and then just like that they get this top player. I'm like, what? That's a
Mm-hmm.
bit much. Like, like, like really? Like, you should be giving up way more than you should be expected to.
Right. Yeah,
So,
because what
yeah,
was it? I remember setting these up to about 70 in 2K for my league. I'm like, you couldn't do it for my GM. That was just, you had to do that a different way. You had to actually like talk to people and stuff. And that was the genius of my GM. But my league, I would set all those settings to like 70. So, the CPU was always trying to re-sign their own, especially their stars. Another part that I liked settings was that it also had a non-financial, like an non-financial ambition slider, and I set that high as well because I didn't want somebody to join a different team just because they offer more money. It's not necessarily what free agency is about. Like, yeah, if you're like the best player, you want to be the highest paid, but you also want to have the best team. So if the AI is thinking to itself, okay, well, I have like several options. Let's say the AI is LeBron James, and LeBron James has the option to stay with Cleveland, take less money, and give Cleveland the ability to get another superstar or make a trade for another superstar where they can fit under the cap or just maybe go over the luxury tax a little bit. Then the AI will look at the offer from the Sacramento Kings, the Dallas Mavericks, and the LA Lakers, and the LeBron AI would be like, sorry, I'm staying in Cleveland because I have more of a chance of winning a championship here, even though you're going to pay me almost $200 million for like the next 4 or 5 years. So that's what I like about the non-financial ambition factor slider in 2K, in which I'm sure it would make its way into the free agent difficulty. If I'm looking at it here, one thing I really want, rewarding challenges. Actually, it looks like it's not listed here, but it would. I would recommend the Deuce to add that part because that part is really key to free agency.
yes, most definitely. It would actually make free agency, a lot challenging.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean like, well, I can't really touch on it. I really can't touch on it as better as you did, but really, I mean, it was like I said about the trade, is almost the exact same as I could say about free agency in Madden. I mean, just offer a little bit more money or a little bit more of this here and there, and then you're pretty much gonna get the player. So, and another thing that should be, I don't know if this is in 2K or well, you said it before with LeBron James, but where a player sees a lot more money on the table and then they elect to stay with that other team, you're wondering like, well, why are you still staying with them? But honestly, I want to see that happen a lot more often. If this was ever in Madden, I would actually like to see this happen a lot more often. In this kind of game, it kind of depends on the player though.
Well, that's the funny part. I don't remember which Madden it was, but I do remember they had ambition factors based on certain traits that I don't know how many Maddens ago. They used to have this. And then if you look at MLB The Show, that's another game that includes a lot of ambition factors. And get this, they also include people as far as individual players. One of the non-financial ambition factors that are also included are teammates who are of your same nationality.
Yeah, there's that, or it could even have become a location thing. Location might have something to do with it as well. That would factor into them signing there.
All right, so we stayed there a little bit too long, and it is starting to storm outside. So I don't know if this is going to get cut, but we're just going to keep going.
Yeah, I'm hearing it outside now.
Yeah, so you got award bonuses, practice XP distribution. I'm not really worried about XP. I wish they would just put it behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But I do like this part, ratings. So we're going to go right to ratings.
Everyone does.
So what can we say about ratings? I circled progressive. And I'm trying to figure out if he highlights pretty much where progressive would be a combination of all three. Essentially, there'd be very little info known about younger players and players who haven't played much. So that to me presents the true hardcore simulation style of getting familiar with your players. Now it could tie into practice mode. It can tie into just drafting in general, because that's where also perceived ratings will come in. Like you can have a perceived rating based on their collegiate stats, in which that's later on down the road about college stats being included and in their college history. Also to include history of injuries and stuff like that. But the longer you had that player, or the more you scout that player, the more visible their talents show up to you. So as you get into the amount of years they play in the NFL, then a person like, let's say there's a running back that athletic looking running back. Obviously, he can run fast, he can jump high, do all these things, but can he read the lanes? Can he run for daylight? Can he break X amount of tackles? It's a whole bunch of stuff that you'll find out as you're playing with the player. And just to add, preseason, playing them in the preseason will also reveal a lot of these stats as well. So I definitely want to see something where you don't know it right away, but the more experience they get and the more either success or failure they experience, their ratings will start to show up a bit. So.
Oh yeah, most definitely. But I think the same can be. I think it should be the same. If the player is somewhat dropping as well. Because you'll be able to tell if the player is dropping in a rating. Or just
like
dropping in performance.
So you're talking about regression, in other words.
Basically, yeah. I mean, I think it should go both ways in both, both progression and aggression. That if you're able to tell a player, when he's getting better, the same should be said when you should be able to tell when a player is, regressing as well, because in that way you can basically improve upon that player progressing. Well, progressing in this case, make him get better.
Well, I know right.
Make him stay that way, or just make him get better.
Okay. Because I know right now in Madden CFM, they do have the regression. You can see it. You have to go through a couple of menus to get to it. Another thing about UI, going through a couple of menus to get to it.
Holy shit, that was a lot.
Well, what? Oh, as far as the.
No, the storm. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say, what's going on? But yeah, I think right now in Madden for their CFM, you can see regression, but sometimes it's ridiculous what the regression comes from. Like they get I can understand. See, I can see the groundwork for wear and tear, and that's also mentioned in this article, in this post. To where if you get sacked, if your quarterback gets sacked like 4 or 5 times, his injury rating goes down. So to me, that's a hidden wear and tear feature. So you can expand upon that.
I would actually love to see this for running backs as well, to be quite honest with you, because running backs, they take a lot of pounding, especially ones that love to run up the gut. Sooner or later, like, if they keep on doing this, they're gonna end up being sore and they're gonna end up getting hurt. So, for me, in this case, that's a really, really good idea.
Okay, and here's the franchise UI according to the vision of Deuce. Like I said, taken straight from NHL, his own words. And when I saw it, before he even read his words, I saw that was NHL because I always wanted NHL's UI to be used in Madden and also could be used in NBA Live. I'm like, you got to do something. I'm like, they talked about like years, like when they started on this whole trend before they did Ignite, before they got on Frostbite, they always talked about sharing resources and sharing technology. Now obviously Frostbite is going to make that easier. But now it's put up or shut up. And the main thing that's not helping the devs at this point is the amount of resources they are given, because we know now that some of the devs that worked on CFM were working on Long Shot. And that took away, along with implementing on Frostbite, that took away from working on CFM, or CFM just wasn't as prioritized as, let's say, MUT, because they got team play thrown in their mode instead of it being available to everyone like it used to be. So that's something right there. They call it like MUT teams or whatever, but I hate MUT, so that's the end of that. But yeah, I'm like, this would be the menu right here. Now, I think we're gonna skim through a couple of these.
Now
News
that
Hub.
right there with the News Hub, oh my God, that reminds me so much of, I would say, Madden 06, because Madden 06, it's a little different. When Madden 06, they had it to where you could look at the newspaper and you'll see you'll see the players posing or something like that. This is like an upgraded version of that, and that's very, very fucking cool. Can't even lie. If this was in Madden today, man, with CFM, oh my God. I already know franchise players like you, like Virtual, like y'all have a field day with this.
Oh, shout out to Silent. Now he's Silent Gamer, and his channel is Silent Sports Network. Now he changed it again.
I'm still calling him Virtual.
So shout out. Well, yeah, we're gonna call him Virtual, but at the same time, he did change his YouTube channel name again. It was Silent Gaming Network. Now it's Silent Sports Network, home of the Simulation Gamer. So I will have a link in the description to his channel. So shouts out to him. That was like a commercial. So fucking pay me.
Fuck you, pay me.
Yeah, I said fucking pay me. But anyway, we don't want to get this streamed or banned.
Yeah.
And so plus it's early in the afternoon, kids probably watching.
Oh yeah.
You gotta clean up here. So all right. So you have the News Hub. Now this will water everyone's mouths. Pause. And the Draft News Hub. And wait, all right, Pooh, what are your thoughts on the Draft News Hub?
Just as good as the news one. I mean, it's even so when you're looking at, oh my God, especially that one at the bottom where it tells you, the overall draft depth, which position is deepest, which position is weakest. Why wasn't this thought of back then? Seriously. Yo, if this was thought of back then, it would have made it so much easier for you to really scout, in my opinion. It would have really made it easier. And it's even more crazy because it would have helped you for, okay, deep at this position, but then again, you could look at another position and see, is it just as good there? Or, is there just one diamond in the rough there? That's probably one thing that I'll say they left out with this. which is kind of understandable. You know, they say, okay, there will be a potential diamond in the rough at such and such position. You know, it'll have you guessing. But other than that, I love that right there at the bottom.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let me back with the Team News Hub again. That's specifically with the Team Hub. This would definitely make it easier to go through. I'm like, here's the one thing that the thing that I like about this with the Team Hub is the fact that it lets you know, first of all, your active roster, your practice squad, and your injured reserve. It gives you statistics on your team, so you know of what your personnel quantity looks like. A lot of times when I'm looking to either make cuts, make trades, or sign a free agent, I'm always thinking to myself, okay, how many players I have at that position, or how many players do I have on the team? And at least this will give you how many players you have on the team. And it gives you a depth chart, gives you the ratings on both sides. I'm like, I think to have easy access, quick access to information vital to be able to analyze and really, figure out what your team is about. This is what people need to see. They need these warning signs next to contract extensions, waiver wire, and practice squad.
Wait, you see that?
Like, you see? I don't know if the mouse is, but it's on the right hand. Big decisions. It's incorporating.
Okay, I see it.
Yeah. So you see these warning signs right here. I'm like, instead of just dark blue screen and then you see big decisions and it's kind of like, at least this one, you have a bright UI. You have the warning signs on the right in yellow. And it's talking about big decisions, but it's not making it like the whole screen. You don't need the whole screen to access information. You just need a part of the screen so you can also view information elsewhere. So you see free agents, scouting, medical center. Like I said, it's just, and then down here you see, I could barely see. Oh, their stats.
Oh,
you
yeah,
see
Stats Central.
The little ticker. You have the ticker down here, which, yeah, they need to hurry up and do the ticker outside the game, not just in the game.
Yeah. So, in the game, that's pretty cool. But yeah, I haven't seen that outside of the game actually since Madden 08 PC. That's the last time I've seen it.
Currently, my league in my GM, I think it's the only one that does it. And I think MLB The Show does a ticker outside the game as well. So.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Do we really want to go through preseason?
I actually do. All
right. We can go through preseason.
I mean, it's just for one thing really. Mm-hmm. That's always been, I guess a small little issue with is this game's been out for a while and they still have not put in the Hall of Fame game. Why? I mean, you should at least have the honor of playing at Canton, Ohio. You know what I'm saying? Where, the Hall of Famers got drafted and then that day later they should be able to watch this. Or in your case in Madden, you should be able to play this. I mean, there's only a few times you've been able to play in Canton, Ohio, in Madden. That's Madden 25, just recently, and then looking back as Madden 08 PC, and that's just for the mods. Now, I don't know if you can actually play it on there, like straight up play it, but for me, I think it would be a big honor if you can be allowed to play the Hall of Fame game. In this case, which everybody knows, it's always before, it's always the first game. So for me, I think that's been, kind of a small issue. I mean, I've been able to deal with it, but I'm like, really? I mean, like, how many Maddens have we been in? But other than that, I really have no problem preseason.
All right, so as far as the Hall of Fame game, in my opinion, I don't care. I'm like, and NFL players want to do without it too. It should be just a ceremony, not a game afterwards. I'm like, you've had major injuries appear in that game because you all have 2 teams that go through 5 preseason games and not 4. So I would say that would be like a presentation element of the Hall of Fame, but not the game. I would just have the Hall of Fame ceremony play out. It could be like the previous season's retired players that were ranked high enough to be considered Hall of Famer. Just like my league, they do it. When certain players retire and they're up in that upper echelon, they get into the Hall of Fame, and then, you know, just like we was talking about, having the ability to go from player to position coach to coach and work your way up.
Yep.
My league throws those players, and they've had those in there for a while. My league throws those players into coaching roles, and I don't know if they get to the GM position, but I'd rather just have the presentation for Hall of Fame game, but we spent too many part anyway.
Yeah.
But I think another thing that stuck out to me as far as preseason was 90-man roster. They don't have to do 90, just do 75. It makes the cut down because the new rule stating that they're going to have one cut down day. So it's easier to go from 75 to 53 than 90 to 53. But I also understand the other aspect of it is that, okay, teams have 90-man rosters for a reason. Evaluate players. They want to see who's the diamond in the rough, who's the long shot. Roll credits for the mode in Madden 18. But and also backing up for injuries and saving players from injuries where you don't have to play a player throughout the preseason. Like if you have a quarterback who's played in the league for 15 years, I probably would expose them to like a game and a half's worth of playing time in the preseason, and that's it.
Oh yeah,
I would just sit them. If there's no competition in a position, then my thought process is you're gonna play for about a game, and I would say a game. No, actually, check that. Not a game and a half. Probably 3/4 worth of games that you'll play in the preseason, and you'll sit for the 4th because all the starters tend to sit for the 4th.
Okay. Yeah, most definitely for the 4th. But honestly, I don't think this should also kick in for the preseason. This needs to kick in for the regular season as well. Really depending on if that team is in the playoffs or not. Because if they are in the playoffs, they should have it to where, you know, week 17 or maybe even week 16 in this case, that they should sit their starters, you know, have them get ready for this game, you know, for the upcoming playoff game. You know, I understand we haven't gotten to that point yet where we're supposed to talk about the regular season, but I think that should really be in there. I haven't been stressed out enough about that because I've hardly seen that myself on Madden to an extent. Because for me, in this case, I had to do it myself. You know, I see my teams in the playoffs. Okay, let me go ahead and just take my starters out. So really, that should be done like automatically. Really, like maybe that's just me.
Well, I know. Let's see. Other things that popped out: position coach cut suggestions. That was talked about on the Sim Standard podcast. Cool.
Oh yeah, that would definitely be a big decision. You know, cutting certain players or something like that.
And definitely having those suggestions, because currently they do have suggestions, but it's kind of hidden, like where those suggestions are coming from.
The waiver wire.
Even though you're playing as a coach, the suggestions have to come from somewhere, not just like random. I wouldn't say it's a random algorithm, but it's one of those things where, like, a player that you yourself are not going to cut, all of a sudden winds up being suggested as being cut. I mean, it could be for financial reasons, it could be for age, it could be for whatever. But I'd rather it be suggested through a position coach because that's what coaches do. I'm like, positional coaches, they oversee their particular position and they make recommendations based on what they see. The coach is not going to always be like obviously I'm taking a real life situation, I'm trying to apply it to a game, but when you're talking about position coach suggestions, you want the suggestion to make sense according to who you have as that coach. I think they can expand right now just the offensive defensive coordinator and then go eventually down the road coach and stuff like that, but at least get the offensive and defensive coordinator out in the game. Things can make sense.
Yeah. Practice
squad.
But yeah, the one thing that caught my interest was the waiver wire. Really, don't. I mean, like, that's something I haven't seen.
Mm-hmm.
All I've seen is just for you cutting people.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how deep it goes in other games because I know MLB Show has a waiver wire notification. I know they have that. My league, for 2K, I don't know if they have one.
I really need to play MLB The Show one day. The first chance I get. It's a good thing I have a PS4 now. So, shit, I really need to play one. I think the one that I have currently is MLB The Show 11, sadly.
Speaking of which, do you know Bill's got his PS4 Pro for about $1?
What?
Yeah, because he
GameStop.
Yes, everybody's been finessing GameStop because of that.
They've been getting finessed.
Yes.
Damn.
Man, I was. What was it? I first heard about it when I was watching the Weapon Wheel podcast, and they talked about it, and they had plans of making that finesse a reality. Everybody else been making that finesse a reality, so that finesse game has been on 100. Now I've kind of staved off from the finesse because I truly don't like GameStop and their anti-consumer practices, which I can point out. I can point out other anti-consumer practice people on Twitter and YouTube that I constantly go back and forth with when it comes to CFM. I'll talk about that afterwards.
Yeah, there's that, and I traded, like, I regret the day that I traded all my fucking Xbox games and I found out by the time I moved to Chester, Pennsylvania, I only had one game to play. So till then, I didn't trade anything else ever again. I kept all my games.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing now. I kept all the physical copies I have. I have a ton of games. Like, I also external hard drive. I know we're going away from the Madden talk a little bit, but yeah, just real quick, I got a 4 terabyte hard drive. All my games are on that bad boy. I took all the games that I had stored on the not Xbox. I have a PS4. Off the PS4 and put it on the hard drive, on the external hard drive. So, and I've only gotten 20. I've only taken up 25% of the hard drive.
That's crazy.
So, got mad room for mad games. That's all I gotta say.
Shit, man, you set for life. How many terabytes you said it was? 4?
4 terabytes.
You set for life. You'll need
pretty much.
You need to upgrade.
I know somebody was, I think Hip Hop Game was talking about something, and I was watching Press Start podcast. I watch a lot of podcast guys. I like these podcasts. They're really cool. But Press Start podcast, Hip Hop Gamer was on it last night as well. I was kind of watching both.
Gamer. Go ahead. Sorry.
And he was talking about 16 terabyte, whatever he was talking about. I was just like, you don't need 16 terabytes.
The fuck you need that much for? Damn. Like, shit.
Like, you're gonna die with terabytes remaining.
That's what I'm saying.
To fill his terabyte drive up. No, it's whatever. All right, so
Hipster Shield Gamer at his best.
Oh God, I can't even believe he still thinks 2K has something cooking.
Oh God, I remember he believed in the whole Joe Montana thing too.
We're not gonna go there. We're not gonna. That's a dead horse that's been buried, and it's nothing but memes right now. Go there. Nah, Damon Grohl is still drinking. But I digress.
Yeah.
All right, so, and real quick, pup list. And I would be happy if they put it in, but I wouldn't miss it if they didn't.
Yes, I would actually be happy with this because we're seeing this right now with players right now in the NFL, even drafted players right now in the NFL, where they're right now on the pup list. You know, can't play for 6 weeks, which sucks, but hey, at least they're able to play for the other half of the season. So this is definitely something both of us will be hoping to see in the future of Madden. If not Madden 18, Madden 19, then.
Well, it definitely won't be Madden 18.
Yeah, it's gonna be Madden
19. We don't even know this. We don't even right now. We don't know which iteration of Madden will start implementing this because right now they want to tie themselves to NBA Live, which I think is a huge mistake.
Big mistake. What the fuck?
Yeah, they want to tie it in with NBA Live, so that was also that also played a factor in why they really didn't do much with franchise mode for Madden 18 because they wanted to see what Live was going to do and the direction they're going because they're pretty much in the same studio, so I can see the cost analysis reasoning for this, but other than that, I don't see any common sense, any other logical reason why they tied their franchise to NBA Live.
I think it's NHL. I'm telling you, at least NHL, they know what the fuck they doing.
I'll say you tie yourself to a franchise mode. Well, and here the cost analysis, the corporate heads are like the cost analysis. We will have to communicate with EA Canada when we have NBA Live in studio. I'm like, no. Tie yourself to an established, successful franchise mode in your company. I'm like, you don't even have to look outside. You can look right there at NHL, like, okay, what you guys doing? Because right now, I don't know what they're going to do with Live 18. It better be good. But I would have gone a safe route with NHL 17. It would have cost a little bit more manpower-wise, but I would have gone with the more stable mode and stable game on top of that. Even though Live's got some core things that are really good. All right, we're regular season because
that's just regular season.
Game prep. A lot of this, anybody who's watching, again, probably heard about this last night, but just looking at game prep, I'm like, I like it.
It's something to build off of.
Yeah, I'm like, and I don't mean that I like it based off this post. I like it in its current iteration. It could build to what's in this post. If it was if game prep was what was in this, because questions that popped up was, and I think Deuce had this question, was how could they set the algorithm to be able to record all this, especially for the AI? Well, we can ask people over at 2K how they do it because they do track.
2K5? I think that's what you're about to refer to because they did have game prepping in NFL 2K5.
Oh yeah, matter of fact, I did a series, like a couple, maybe, yeah, it was a couple of years ago. I did a series, coaching, scouting, training, the CSTs of my league, and I can link you guys the video if you want to watch it. It's good, trust me. But a lot of it, they have the algorithm set to track team tendencies for not just individual players, teams. With Ace, God forbid what they have under the hood that hasn't been revealed. So it can be done, and it took. See, my league was implemented in 2K15, but they had all this in 2K15. So they can get it done. They just need. I just think what 2K does, what EA does not do, is provide their employees with the money and the support behind the money to get this done. So that's why I really don't blame the devs for why the CFM is the way it is. They're basically foot soldiers They're told to do a certain job, and they have to execute. Let's leave it at that. So, okay. So enhanced stat tracking, the solo struggle.
Hello?
Let's see. Yeah, I see
Yeah,
you.
I don't know what the hell happened.
Yeah, it looked like you just flipped to a video real quick.
Yeah, my Google Chrome messed up, moment.
Oh, okay. Yeah, don't be flashing people while you. Okay, good.
Seriously?
Like X-rated poo.
So don't be flashing people. I'm not EDP, dog.
Oh boy, that man is a heart attack away. Oh, he's just one rant away from a heart attack.
Well, he's already terminated, so you don't gotta worry about it.
No, he'll find some way. On Twitter, you can still upload videos.
Oh yeah.
So you'll see, he's not done.
Oh no, most definitely. I know he not.
Not done.
How about a long shot?
Practice. To me, I feel like I'm gonna skim through this because I'm like, practice is practice. It means something, and I think I touched on a couple of things of what practice would mean compared to like injuries. Like one of the franchise settings, I'm gonna go back to this. For injuries, you can set it like if you wanted to, according to Deuce Douglas's vision. I'm gonna just let everybody know, since right now there are 0 viewers, but for those that are watching this on archive, this is based on Deuce Douglas's post. This is a vision. This is not what's in the game. So if you're watching this and you're like, oh, I'm excited to get Madden 18. No, don't get excited to get Madden 18 because all this is not in Madden 18.
Disappointed.
Make that clear right now. So, but according to Deuce Douglas's vision and his post, that if you set it to full, that it would include practices and the games and sim, as far as like when these injuries will occur. And of course, a person like me and a person like Pooh will have it on full.
Oh yeah.
And the funny thing is that this used to be in Madden as well. And matter of fact, hold up. Let me also throw in the fact that Deuce also mentioned on Sim Standard Podcast that a lot of his ideas stem from old Maddens, which, like, when I read it, I was thinking My League and MLB The Show, but a lot of stuff was previously in Madden. We just want it back. We want this stuff back. So if you're a dev and you're listening to this, Rex, Clint, E. White, Kobe, when you're done working with Long Shot, or who's the other guy that was working on Long Shot that should be working on a franchise? When you guys are done with Long Shot, let's get this franchise done pronto, ASAP.
Exactly. I mean, like, if you guys say you guys still care about franchise, then right after this Madden, then y'all need to put your money where your mouth is. I mean, like, it's about time franchise gets a better revamp. This is something that should have been done long ago. Personally, I mean, y'all already had it going with Mutt. I mean, what more could y'all possibly do? So,
well, you also have to remember that they have continuous development cycle. So why can't you get stuff in the interim until Madden 19? You could possibly get something in here.
That's what I'm saying.
Something. I'm like, I could see ideas for them. Like somebody was talking about DLC for franchise mode. Which
Hell no.
I was saying no, but here's the thing: if you did it for free and included equipment updates and stuff like that, that would be fine. They've done that.
Oh, yeah.
They've done that type of stuff before. So I'm okay with that. Don't make it a microtransaction. Don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, you already got our $60, potentially $80, because people are gonna get the Gold Edition.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, you already got our money for that. Please, I mean,
They don't got my money for that. I'm probably not gonna get the Gold Edition, but
I'm most likely in because I actually do play Mutt to a slight degree. I actually do like a fantasy team.
Ew. Get off my show. Ew. What? Ew.
Oh shit! But yeah, I just like playing all things football considered. But yeah,
So wait a minute. So when you were born feet first? That's the only way that would explain why you're playing MUT.
Oh my god, that's too funny.
All right.
No, yeah, shit.
All right. So we're just gonna forget that he mentioned MUT. It has no place on this channel. We're also gonna forget the fact that he's an Eagles fan. All right, another reason why he's playing MUT. He
No.
gets his Eagles and replaces all the players, just like Chip Kelly.
Oh, I can't breathe.
Man, you can always fight back. You know, you sit there laughing. You can always hit me back.
I could, but hey, man, what you bring is nothing. Look. What you bring is nothing compared to what the Cowboys fans bring, man. What the Cowboys bring, it legit pisses me off.
Man, Cowboys. If we had to go on the Cowboys one more time, I'm gonna throw up.
Why?
Is the worst group of fans in all of sports.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like you and like Redskins and Giants fans, like yo, I can tolerate. That's nothing to me, but fucking Cowboys, man, I just can't anymore. I just can't.
Man, I think all of them were born feet first. Honestly, like, they explain a lot to me. I'm like, matter of fact, I take that back about being born feet first since you were playing MUT. There's nothing worse than a Cowboys fan.
No, man.
MUT. I won't play MUT. But you can't be a Cowboy fan.
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no.
It's just not going to work. I was like, man, there are probably a lot of women I won't even date if they're Cowboys fans.
Oh, God, man. Shit, I'm sorry. That's a rule. That's a rule for all three NFC East teams fan bases. Do not date no Cowboys fan. If you do,
and you know what the bad part is? You know what the bad part is? Is that you have Cowboys fans in the DC area that have never been to Texas.
Oh my God.
Texas twice. The last time I was in Texas, I saw a star threw a middle finger up at it.
Oh my God. I
traveled to their state and threw that finger. Walked in their state with Redskin attire, was like, and I spat on the ground. So like, tuh. I don't care for the fact that you guys swept us this last year. Y'all got happy with your mobile quarterback and your running back. That's what we did in 2012 with Griffin and Morris. And, and by the way, Dallas, you did Morris dirty. McFadden should have had a job with Morris. No way.
I'm like, yo, you already had Alfred Morris and Darren McFadden. Why bring Zeke Elliott? Why?
The only Cowboys player I like is Alfred Morris. That's it.
Because he used to
do. So injuries. We kind of went over injuries and the settings and stuff like that. So we want the injuries to matter more. I think that's the overall. I'm going to skip over that. The game prep ideas. I figure I'm trying to remember if he went through that last night or not, but yeah, we're going to skip over that.
Yeah.
Rare medals, skip over that. Dynamic game plans. Now, okay, dynamic game plans. You know what this reminds me of?
Good.
My league again.
Oh.
Because my league, you can set game plans per team. And you can do whatever you want with them as you go along the season. It kind of goes hand in hand with what the AI can do against you with Ace. So that's what dynamic game plans reminds me of.
That sounds pretty cool.
So just taking a little look at that.
I'm more interested in see how it'll look like. More so than how it'll sound.
Yeah, I wish there were I wish there were images of that. You're right. If like he put a lot of words in here, and I'm not going to sound ignorant or anything. I'm college educated. I had a 3.6 out of UMUC. Just graduated this past May.
That's impressive.
But sometimes when you put in a lot of words, some people tend to get lost in the words, and they get in their own heads about what it's going to look like, and it may not match what they're reading. So just like with all the other stuff, like, okay, wow, it's a lot of, yeah. Okay, like, not that. Like, stuff like this. This is good, along with the words. So I'm going to go back down. Past dynamic game plans. Like I said, that reminded me of 2K with my league. I think you can do it in my GM as well. I would say MLB does it in a way. Baseball, you pretty much game plan per batter and their tendencies and their hot and cold zones change over time. So that's in MLB to show in that form or fashion. Okay, so yeah, team chemistry, player morale, another aspect that I see in my league. Like, I'm very my league heavy with what. So there's already a ton of references to my league. Okay. I feel especially with team chemistry and player morale. I think that's very important. I remember, what was it that when they had confidence in there? They still have confidence in there, but they tied it more to the team for Madden. But the first year they had confidence, and people were crying because they were, I don't know, they were losing games and their confidence was dropped to all-time low and they couldn't get out of it.
Well, that's what happens when you lose games. Your confidence would drop to a slight degree.
I'm like, what'd you expect? And then they evened it out so the confidence are not so much tied to the individual players. I'm just like, come on. Crying about how unbalanced it was. I was like, how about they win some games?
Exactly.
Like, start winning games. Get players that like the NHL actually has it in there where player morale plays a lot more into who you have, not only on the team but in each individual line. Like your line one players, like your forwards, they could not like each other. You may have to put them on different lines so their morale will improve individually. In NHL, they have it so they even have players that they like, whether it's on the team or even across the NHL. So it give you a clue that, hey, maybe I want that player on the team. It makes that guy happy. They may play well together. There's synergy, and boom, they turn our season around.
Yep.
Just for one player. So I like that NHL has something like that as far as team chemistry and player morale. Of course, 2K has it with my league. I remember once I made a trade and the team chemistry dropped 15%.
Jesus.
So you have to be careful when you make trades. In Madden, not so much right now. You can make any trade you want. It will not affect team chemistry because there is none.
It used to in Madden 08. Madden 08, I wouldn't say it affected team chemistry. I'm talking about PC version. It affected the morale. I mean, like, for me, I feel like this. A bad morale would normally mean that player will either hold out or that player will just, he'll just straight up leave.
Oops. I forgot that I have sharing the screen. Yeah, that was my fault.
But other than that, I feel like, I actually like the idea with the whole team chemistry and morale thing. I think both of those, they really like go hand in hand when you're playing.
All right, so again, big decisions as far as injuries. They kind of have that. Probably not exactly.
I think it should also be like this. I don't know if this was mentioned too, but you just mentioned not too long ago, like, well, if two players don't get along with each other, it should also be like this. If one of those players were traded, for an example, then their morale would actually go up. Kind of. That could happen.
You see Well, we've seen it between Westbrook and Durant. So
Exactly.
you
Exactly.
see how that played out, the SBs.
Yeah, exactly.
So now here's the thing. I actually did a video suggesting this was the wear and tear and the season stamina effect. I can't stress how important this is. I'm like, they could put this in next year if they want, and they would already change the game. I'm sure Sim already said that last night, but I'm just reiterating this. You put this in a game, the wear and tear and the season stamina effect, along with the injuries, that would change the game, because right now it's not difficult to navigate through an NFL season in Madden. It is not difficult at all. Like with its current, like I toned like the injury slider in Madden, I toned down to 40 because I saw that was the Goldilocks zone, meaning good for those that don't know who Goldilocks is. For those that were born into ebooks and not actual books, the paper, pile of papers you open up and you read the words inside. That, yeah, 40 was a good slider setting for the injuries, so you wouldn't get stockpile full of injuries. But there are a lot of injuries in the NFL. People get hurt. The injury list's a lot longer than you think. Injuries that are accounted for in real life are more or less, they're playing hurt type injuries. Again, a product of wear and tear. They can play, but they're not as strong.
Being hurt more. That's the problem. You run the risk.
Well, that too. Like they don't. You can, obviously with the NFL putting a ban hammer on concussions, you don't have concussions in the game. You want. I'm like, I understand their lawyers' reasoning for why they don't want concussions in the game, because they were being sued left and right. But if you want to, no. Here's the thing. You got other leagues that are not afraid to showcase their game at the fullest. Why doesn't the NFL allow? It's making the video game version of the NFL to show its game at its fullest. Now, I'm not saying put in off the field issues. I'm not saying that like triple murder should appear in Madden 18 or 19, or a Twitter rant gone haywire. I would say more of a Twitter rant gone haywire should appear in like Madden 19 as bringing down team chemistry and morale and player morale and stuff like that. I can see that, but other leagues allow their video game makers to showcase their game at the fullest. And the NFL is like right now is the only one that wants to reel in their image a bit on the video game format. So I've always had a problem with that. But yeah, wear and tear, yeah, that would definitely change the game instantly. It's in my league, and it was NHL actually presents a different aspect of it. They point out the injuries to particular areas. That's the difference in NHL, so it can be done. Pooh, your thoughts on this?
For me, if anything, it's hold on. I don't know what the hell's going on.
You know what, Pooh? I'm gonna put a 24-second shot clock on here.
But yeah, I kind of like the whole Wayne thing. I feel like it's a very, very good idea. I mean, it was just like y'all said, it's really gonna change the whole outcome of the franchise mode. Seeing it right now, where you have if a running back carried the ball like 40 times in a game, I mean, of course, I'm gonna expect that stamina to wear down. It's really gonna affect the team as a whole, especially if that running back is the workhorse running back. He's the franchise player of the team. In this case, you know who I'm referring to. In this case, I'm referring to Zeke Elliott, who carried the ball a lot for Dallas. Now, if this was the case in Madden 18, where if he carried that exact same load that he did last season, I'm expecting his stamina to be around like, I don't know, maybe even the 80s or somewhat the 70s in this case, because that's a lot of carries and a lot of punishment that he took. So, having something like this in Madden, it would actually be very realistic, and it would actually be very, very cool. But the same can be said for the quarterback, though, because it was like you alluded to earlier, but quarterbacks taking a lot of punishment. I mean, God, who's the most sacked quarterback last year? That I honestly don't remember.
Yeah, that I don't remember, but I'm sure that for being the most sacked, then their whole body would be red.
Yes, most
By
definitely.
the end of the season.
Unless it's Eli Manning. Eli Manning, for some reason, that man takes a ton of punishment and he just keeps getting up. He never gets hurt. That man's injury rating is probably on 100 for real.
Yeah, so is his interceptions thrown rating. So, all right.
Yeah.
So they had the injury timeline. Just to move on real quick. Players injured, initial diagnosis, post-game diagnosis, and recovery. Which I hate the fact that right now, right off the bat, the exact amount of time your player is going to be hurt. One thing I have noticed on a bunch of occasions is that it may be just me, but it seems like the initial injury in the weeks tend to go down from in game to when you look at it right after the game ends. Like I had one guy look like he was going to be out for like 5 weeks, and then I get to outside the game, and all of a sudden he's out for 3 weeks. I'm like, what the heck is going on? Is that a bug? Is that a glitch? I don't know what it is. So if it's not a bug or a glitch, maybe that's the post-game diagnosis already in effect.
Yeah.
But just hidden. But the initial diagnosis, they kind of have that. Kinda. Let's see. As far as players being injured, they just have to have more animations to showcase what injuries they have. They need more injuries.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, didn't they just start just skipping what the player looks like when he's down? Like I've seen.
They did. I think the last time we really did see that was like, Madden 10?
Mm-hmm.
And 1? I think that was the last time we really did see a player that was really, really hurt. But what I liked about how Madden 09 did it was that they actually highlighted the part of the body, and then they showed you what injury it is, what injury it could potentially be.
Mm-hmm.
So really from there, I think those should make a comeback. But I understand why they took it off. They did that to speed up the game.
Yeah, you have all those people that can hold A and skip past the game. It
Exactly.
took the time to come up with commentary to account for that.
Oh, Michael Floyd just got suspended for the first 4 games of the season.
Oh, we all knew that was coming. You think he was going to make it through the season and the next season scot-free? I'm like, how he was able to continue playing after what happened? He got a Super Bowl ring, and he's like, I'm good.
Yep, basically. That's good. I could do whatever the hell I want.
All right, so you have multiple injuries and development trade contract. During the season, contract extensions. I would like to see that.
And please bring back the coin toss, because y'all took that shit off, too.
No, we can get it. I don't think the coin toss is important during the regular season as it would be in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I look at NBA 2K and their presentation, and not every game has to be a showcase of the pregame, like lights and entertainment and music videos and stuff. It doesn't have to be that.
But that's nothing they took off of Madden that you just reminded me of. I mean, like, there's times where, like, not every game, Well, it was like you said, like not every game, but they had it in Madden where you could bring it where you had like pre-game introductions, and they just straight up took them off. I'm like, oh, really? Now some players they still do pre-games. I can understand why, because most players nowadays they really don't. But for some players, they really like making their pre-games a little known. Maybe that's just
It
me.
just seems like it takes away from
Takes away from the actual
games,
sport.
important games.
What makes it exciting?
In
You know?
in my league, they do highlight games that are going to be on NBA TV. Make other games available and not use other like TNT or ESPN. They don't have to use those brand names. They can do others, and then they can do the pomp and circumstances for those type of games. But if it's just if it's just a game that's not on TV, is regional, you just pop right into the game. Because especially with Play Now, I don't want to always deal with the start line. I can skip through it. Yes, I do have that option. It gets frustrating when you have to do that. I want to just like Play Now is exactly what I want to do. I want to play now, not 10 minutes later when the slow motion start lineups are called, or after the music video, like for the umpteenth time I played through Jay-Z's song while the highlight reel is going on. I just want to play now. But
I see what you mean.
All right, so. And we were just talking about gameplay presentation, so that leads into CFM ticker. Yeah, that should have already been
in there. But I do like how it looks though. I love how
like. Yeah, let me look at. Okay, this is more like the UI setup for the schedule. If it looked like this, it would be better just visually.
Yup, the NFL.com schedule looking thing, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Just going through this real quick. Now, this transaction log, you look at it currently, and it sucks. This right here is what needs to be there. I could keep track of things better if the transaction log looks like this. Like, this is clean. This is precise. This is professional. So, and then I like the fact that you have the multiple broadcast package. That's
I swear to God, why was this not in games? Well, they get to the bit. I understand why it's not in games because of the fact, like, the way how I see it is, I guess EA will have to get some contracts going on with, not just CBS but also.
No, they don't. No, they don't. They don't have to. They don't have to do that. All they gotta do is just change where look. Just look at it. See where the score bug is.
Let's see it.
It's different in each one. They don't have to get contracts with a different. I'm like I remember when they were sponsored by Fox back in the Genesis days, and they had to. But they don't have to have ESPN. They have what they want as far as the NFL Network. Just get different bugs or different layouts for at least your Monday night game. And just don't make it look similar to ESPN.
What's crazy is there's actually one game that did this. You probably do not remember what it was. I don't know if I'm correct on this. I think it was one of those NCAA basketball games that EA came out with, and they had it to where it would just swap from between ESPN and CBS. I think it was the last one they made, if I'm correct.
I think I do remember it. It's been a while since I played. You're talking about college 2K8, right?
Not that one.
Oh, not the basketball 2K8?
No, not the 2K8. The live 2K8. Something like that. No, the live it was either 08 or 09. The one that had it where I guess it was depending on the day where you would swap between the two. So if you don't remember, I'll try to look it up right now and see if you can find it. Well, see if I.
Well, if you look at FIFA, they have multiple league packages as far as like score bug and the lineup crawl and stuff like that. So they can look at FIFA and figure out what they're doing. Like you can do if.
Yup, NCAA basketball 10.
Oh, okay. There we go.
That was the exact one that did that. It had CBS and ESPN. Dang. Looks so damn good too. The scorebook is really good.
And then I know as far as in-game assets, they were already starting that, but this would actually be, well, actually, as far as this, it would be better if they use in-game assets instead of a highlight reel, because you get a lot of quarterbacks or a lot of play. Like, this is mainly for the quarterbacks right now, but you get a lot that don't have any highlights. So you get a blank screen, and then what? You're just looking at a blank screen, and then you barely even get that quarterback's name called if it's like generic Joe Schmo that's starting at quarterback. This is hot right here.
Oh, crap. I'm about to get right back on this through my computer right now. That's crazy. That's crazy. I need to see this in full screen, not through my phone.
And ignore that star right there. We don't need, you don't have to worry. Matter of fact, ignore the star, but look at that score, 20-3. Just let that sink in. 20-3. Now it looks like you're on there twice.
Who dare wears that star in their head? Yeah, I actually just logged out through my my phone just now. So sorry about that.
Oh. Well, you sound clearer on the PC than you do on the phone. I know if I was on the phone, I would actually be on my mic, but it's one of those things.
Yep, just one of those things.
But yeah, that's hot right there. That's hot right there. And then stat banner references. As long as they get something that's clean that tells the story of the moment, that's good right there too.
Yo, and you said that their EA is looking at this. They need to look at this. They also have to put this up for your AFC playoff picture. Yeah, especially that around the NFL stuff like this. Like, yo, this is what they need to look at. Yeah, and I see it right here. He said, I like what NCAA was able to accomplish. NCAA did exactly that.
Yep.
Gave you the standings, gave you what was going on, gave you player stats in the game. They even gave you a game break.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I liked about NCAA was the fact that like at any moment, I'm like everything was tied to parts of the game. Like it would give you game breaks within the quarter. It didn't have to wait until the first quarter ended, but it would give you updates as you go along the game. So it's like its internal clock was like, okay, the game's progressed to like this was a 1 o'clock game. All the other 1 o'clock games are going right now.
It's even better if they have it like this. They already have it with the ticker, but I don't think they do have it with the ticker. There was times where in playoff game, well, not playoff games, but you know, if it was week 15, week 14, something like that, where they would tell you playoff implications where they say, oh, if this team lose, this team is heading, you know, this team is heading to the wild card round. They should have it like that in the game where, okay, if that team actually does lose, that you'll be updated for breaking news saying like, oh, okay, let's say, for example, Dallas loses and, you know, Giants advance to the Giants win the NFC East or something like that. And then the fans would actually cheer, something like that. That would actually be kind of
You know the actual excitement I used to have for clinching the playoffs? That last time I felt really excited about the playoff race and then clinching the playoffs was Tecmo Super Bowl.
Oh, wow.
Because that game, you kind of knew where you stood in the playoffs, but when you clinched, you get that screen. Yep. And then you see them still graphics of the players. It's like they throwing their hands out there, like celebrating. It's like
that's satisfaction.
I remember the whole tune when that would happen.
Honestly,
And
I felt like that when I was playing Madden 2000. It wasn't like a theme or anything going on, but I'm like, oh, yes, thank God. I actually did
yeah,
it.
so it was actually, my last great feeling of clinching the playoffs. Right now, you clinch a playoff spot, it's like, whatever.
Yeah, basically.
It's like the NBA removing the NBA playoffs from the team's home courts. I don't even feel like it doesn't feel like the playoffs because you don't see the logo on the playoff. You see it in the crawl with along the scores table, but that's it. You don't see it on the court. I don't really see it in the score or anything like that, or score bug. So it's just like this is a regular season game, but it's the playoffs for some reason. I wonder why. No wonder teams get blown out in the playoffs. They don't even feel it. So they got playoff presentation, postseason awards. Yeah, that would be nice to have them pictured like that. The Ewok right here, he's pictured here. What is it? Ground FedEx. See, the fact that he did it FedEx.
Yeah, FedEx Ground Player of the Year, the most valuable player.
The most
I really love how they did that.
NFL player ever.
Really love how they have their picture up there. That reminds me of NCAA 06 when your player would highlight when you're in a race for the Heisman.
Mm-hmm. And then, all right, so let's see. Seems like we can just.
I think the draft should be the last. I mean, on the all season. I think the all season should be the last one that we should talk about.
Well, yeah, that would be the only other thing because really is four big things: settings, preseason, regular season, and off season.
5th year options, yes. Please put that in the game, please. God, I've been begging for that to be in there. Actually, give you another year to potentially sign a guy. Give you some breathing room.
Honestly, a lot of these, well, every one of these should slowly be implemented in the game. I'm like, if they just the thing about setting a franchise in a particular motion is that just lay the foundation so you can continue to build off of it. This should be this whole thing should be the foundation. And just take what you already have and put it in those columns that is according to this right here. So you do that, they'll be on their way. And by year 3, they should be set. It happened for my league and my GM. MLB The Show was kind of already there. NHL is kind of gone, has their blueprint. I'm like, that's the way it needs to be done, and it needs to be done ASAP. So you have your off-season hub here. This is the visualization of it. So like I said, it's the UI, crisp, clean, easy access. You see everything. Here you go, your mock drafts and stuff like that. You have your mock drafts in 2K that are in the ticker. So for my league, so you got to have this. The training camp.
Can we please do combine again?
Rookie mini camp, OTAs, combine, pro day. Yes.
Yes,
of course, take
yes. I would absolutely love all this stuff. Don't get I would absolutely love that. But like I said, it's not just that. It would be doing the combine. It would actually be me doing the Senior Bowl game. That would be cool as hell. I mean, we haven't done that since Man 08 PC.
See, I wonder how
the high school
they decide. One thing I never did understand: how they decide who coaches the Senior Bowl. Like, cause I know it's always like
question.
Cause I know the Redskins have done it a couple of times. I'm like, why the Redskins always coaching? It's not because they either don't.
Didn't they do Dallas twice now?
Nah, it's been the Redskins the last couple of years or whatnot. But I've seen the Redskins coaching a lot. Like,
weird.
I don't know. I really don't know how they do that.
Wait, like, They did it last year. I swear it was the Cowboys last year.
Well, it could have been the Cowboys last year. I didn't watch the game, so.
I'm about to say like it had it been the Cowboys last year because I know the year before that when the Eagles drafted Wentz, it was actually Jason Garrett or some shit like that.
Mm.
Somebody, there was the coach over there for
Right.
Senior Bowl. So I think it's been at Dallas the last few years now. Now maybe the few years before that it was probably the Redskins.
Mm-hmm. So here you have the coaching traits.
Coaching trade. That's basically the
Offensive,
same. The coaching style the same.
morale effect.
Evaluation.
Oh yeah, let me scroll down there.
Evaluation, motivation, discipline. That's actually very good to give coaches ratings like that.
Yeah, they need to have ratings. They can't be just like bland. They can't just be okay. This is coach. It's like with 2K. Like a lot of their like as far as coaches look like they're under the hood, but you can like set like their preferences as far as like if they play, 7 on the bench, they play 7 players, where they play like their starters and maybe 2 off the bench, or they go 9 deep or 10 deep. So it's one of those things where you definitely need a coach to have ratings. Like, right now for 2K, the coaches have an offensive rating and a defensive rating. And they do have an assistant coach that has an offensive rating or a defensive rating. They have a trainer. They have all the again, a lot of this stuff that Madden used to have. They did have time you can actually hire a training. You get hire like somebody, and you had different training organizations you could hire. I forgot which Madden it was. I know it was probably back with the ones, Madden 04, Madden 03, where you can hire a training organization to deal with injuries and stuff like that.
Also, I don't think this is in Madden particularly, but I think that when it pertains to injuries, I think it should depend on like the team. I really think it should depend on the team. I mean, like everyone they talk about. I mean, like they talk about like which NFL teams have like the best, injuries. Best how low. How often does this team have injured players on their team? They actually have a chart letting you know that. So I think that depending on that, whichever team they go to, how long it would take for them to get the injury to heal, or how long it would, or in this case, for the injury to re-tear again, depending on the team. That's what I think should be in there.
I think that would tie into what if they had a strength and conditioning coach.
Something like that, yeah. And that should be a rating on that too, honestly.
I'm like, that would actually dictate like how often a player will get injured. Another factor you can put in, and that would be something with the actual field.
Exactly.
If you had like a harder version of, if you had a harder grassy turf, then like Baltimore switched back to natural grass. So I hope the Madden developers caught that, because it happened. Because they switched last year, but it wasn't in time for them to change it in Madden. But this year, the Ravens are playing on natural grass. A lot of players, like I play in a rec league, and we play on grassy turf. And I remember before that playing on AstroTurf, the concrete version. The Eagles had the worst field in the NFL when it was at Veterans Stadium.
Oh God!
And, it was just like running on concrete.
Shit wasn't even
Mike
turf.
Urban did his career because he headbutted the turf, dummy. But I remember watching that game too, and he was trying to avoid a hit, and he wound up headbutting the turf. I was like, "You dumb mother."
I'm like, my man, you injured yourself.
Yeah, he ended his career on his own terms, literally.
But
So
But yeah, man, it's crazy, man. At one point, the Eagles got the worst field. Now it's like they got one of the best fields now ever since they moved out of that. They got away from that turf. They're also using natural grass, if you can tell.
mhm.
But the thing with the
So
Eagles and the Ravens is they keep their grass very, very clean.
mhm. Now it seems like a lot of this, like the develop, like everything here with the coach ratings, this is all like impact.
You're off the air, by the way.
Oh no, I still have it on.
You sure? Are you sure?
Yeah,
Cause
it still says live.
okay.
Yeah, well, at least for me, it still says live. I'm like, I don't know.
Weird. Okay. Continue.
Okay, so let's see. Roster impact, and that pretty much from the coach ratings would affect the roster, which that's obvious, which needs to be in the game. I mean,
Coaching
it needs to
trees.
have more impact in the game. Let's just say that.
Coaching trees. Yes. Yes, because I got tired of that in old Madden games. I don't know if that's also the case in Madden 17 as well, where like you don't have actual like for me the actual coordinator doesn't matter. I mean like damn like once you pick the coach, you not only picking the coach but you picking what scheme they were in last, and you just have to deal with it. I'd be like really like like I would actually like to see Jim Schwartz in the game. I would actually like to see who else Matt Patricia or some shit like that. Have
Mm-hmm.
that coordinators actually matter.
Yeah, because right now you got two young guns at head coach. You got, and both in the NFC West. You got Sean McVay and you have Shanahan. I don't know why I'm forgetting his first name all of a sudden, but
Mike,
Little Shanahan.
I think it's
I don't
Mike.
think it's Mike. No, it's. How come I can't remember his name? Because they both were coaches with the Redskins. Kyle
Shanahan.
Shanahan.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Kyle Shanahan. So you got two young guns who are offensive coordinators, very young offensive coordinators that were very successful when like Kyle was responsible for RG3's 2012 season. And everybody wants to say it's his father, but nah, that was Kyle. Kyle was responsible for the Hawks, for the Falcons.
Oh,
Why
okay.
I'm thinking basketball, but the Atlanta Falcons, and not necessarily Matt Ryan's success because he's always been successful, but their offense was successful. It was
Yep.
more suited for what Matt Ryan could do. So I wonder what's going to happen in San Francisco because right now I don't even know who's the quarterback out there. I know 2018
Better be careful.
it may be Cousins.
So I'm
So
saying you better be careful, man. You better enjoy that man while it lasts because, whew, sheesh. Might be Redskins all over again, classic Redskins all over again, especially after what you're telling me. I'm like, that was dead on. But when you said like they just have quarterback at their quarterback, I'm like, why the hell can y'all not have any stability? What's going on here?
The thing is, I've been fine with Kirk Cousins, just like I was fine with Griffin. I just hate the fans that fought over these two, and then especially the Kurt Hive. That was the most
what?
divisive. We call them the Kirk Hive. The people that were like slobbering all over Kirk Cousins and slandering Griffin. I'm like, you had on the other side, you had the Griffin stands. They were slobbering all over Griffin and slandering Cousins when we had two good quarterbacks.
Oh wow!
But a lot of people in the Kirk Hive were like, well, Griffin brought this on himself. I was like, no, because you scumbags believed every news report that came out from every person that was trying to make their career off of Griffin. Hello, Diana Rossini or whatever her name is, who went from local NBC to ESPN, all off of Griffin.
That's crazy.
She digged a lot of dirt up on Griffin that really wasn't even there. And then even right now, you still have people that follow Griffin just to slander him. Yup, see, I told you he was a scumbag.
Yeah, like
See
right now with him on the Browns.
Well, he's not on any team right now.
Yeah,
but the thing
when he was on the
is,
Browns.
it's just ridiculous to slander anybody. You're a fan of the team, not of a particular player. Like, I'm going to have another quarterback in another couple of years. I'm always prepared for change at quarterback with the Washington Redskins because I can go through – well, I'm not going to go through on this stream, but we can go down the list of all the Redskins quarterbacks. The biggest accomplishment for a coach here was to win a Super Bowl with a different quarterback 3 times. Joe Gibbs won a quarterback with Theismann and won the Super Bowl with Joe Theismann, Doug Williams, and Mark Rippon, all in one tenure as a Redskins coach. We've never known stability at quarterback, so I don't know why anybody in this franchise, as a fan, would get behind a particular quarterback. I'm guilty of it with Griffin, but I got back to my, okay, we'll have a new quarterback in a few years mentality once they started messing around with Cousins. And they really did mess around with Cousins. They should have paid – I'm like, they should have paid that man, and they shouldn't have fired Scott McCloughan. But that's a different story. We need to get back to this.
Yeah.
Because now we're in rookie scouting now. So this is really the nitty-gritty of offseason. Because all about the incoming freshmen of the NFL.
Freshman.
Pause. But anyway.
I was thinking of
it would have been more suspect. You said it than me.
So. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm looking at this image here, and then and also I have to also throw in NFL head coach as a reference in this post as well. Like I said before, I kept throwing up my league, NHL, MLB The Show, and past Maddens, but one of the past Maddens would be NFL head coach to get all this detail, especially with the coaching and player evaluation. But rookie drafting, rookie scouting, I'm gonna just go down here. Player grades. They kind of had that already, but it needs to be fleshed out more, like Deuce has it.
Yep.
Think they can do.
Looks a lot better. Actually, the way how it looks a lot better than how we normally see it.
And then here was the one I was talking about earlier. Now I'm see if I can blow this up.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I blow this up right here.
Oh yes.
See, that's what I was looking at as far as like all the way back to high school. Which, if you think about it, for long shot, you're gonna have some games. It looks like you're gonna have some games where you're playing in high school.
Yes.
Just because I remember playing the Journey, and you start off as a little kid, and you're doing a penalty shot. Now, unfortunately, I missed my penalty shot, and my teammate backed me up. I'm never good on penalty shots in FIFA. It's always difficult for me. But I like this right here. And then let me go back.
And
I'm getting good at this.
I really, really do like this because this can really affect the NFL draft. We've seen enough as it is in real life. You know, looking at it with Reuben Foster, for an example.
Right.
In terms of, everybody was judging basically in this case, for Madden's case, it would be his arm durability. And then that caused him to drop. That's another thing I love. The spark rating is in there. Nice.
That up there.
Dang, this man's a potential second, third overall quarterback.
They got where they rank as far as what they did for the bench press, the 40, and I'm like, you need to know where players stand, not just with their grades, but with their rankings in their position. I'm glad that that Deuce visualizes the fact that based on quarterbacks, based on the quarterback position, that's where based on their position, that's where they were ranked. So that right there.
Speed, power, agility, reaction, and quickness. I never knew that's what that meant the whole time. It's good to
as
know.
far as spark?
Yes, I never knew what that meant.
Mm.
It's good to know now.
Now you know.
Yep.
So, okay, so projections and mock drafts. Let me click on this one right here.
Oh my God, Mel Kiper Jr., Todd McShay, Mike Mayock.
Yeah, that's crazy right there.
That is crazy. Except that I'm not listening to Mel Kiper Jr. at all.
Hey, you want to listen to that, man? Hold up, let me check this out right here.
That fake ass wig.
But here's the thing: it's like details. Details matter, people. Details definitely matter. You gotta running your franchise. You have to showcase the details so people can indulge themselves in figuring out who is the best for their squad. Now, this is obviously a mock draft, so I like how you. And this is also like a spy tool.
Yes.
If you're, let's see, I'm gonna try to pick two rivals in this list.
Just pick the Eagles and Giants and get it over with.
Well, they're not listed on here. That's the thing. Yeah,
then,
I'm going by.
Then who's on the list? Okay, then pick the
You got New Orleans and Carolina.
Okay, you can pick them.
So if you got you can see if you're controlling Carolina, you can tell that New Orleans is looking for a cornerback, a safety, outside. They need a lot of help. That's what this is.
Well, isn't that far from the truth?
So you know who they could possibly go after. So I could see pulling off a move because you also need a receiver. Look who they're trying to pick. And they also have a choice to go after this guy here too. But I can see if I know that ahead of time, and this is kind of what's in my league as well with the mock drafts. They have 3 versions of it. I forgot what the actual names of it, but when the draft comes around, you could say maybe trade up with Minnesota to get this particular player, Travis Redmond. You probably have to give up a couple of things, but trade up to the 9 and steal a player that the Saints were going after. That could cause a train wreck in their plans. Who knows? So a little bit of a spy tool as far as that is concerned.
Which is pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
The collegiate
college stats, yes. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, and again, Deuce Douglas, his vision is crystal clear where franchise needs to go.
Heisman Trophy finalist, second team All-American, Davey O'Brien Award. That man, sheesh, mid first rounder.
See, and here's the example of those perceived ratings right here. We're just gonna touch on that real quick. C ? I'm like,
A.
That's what I'm saying. Like, have stuff like that, so people can, because what this means, when you have all this detail, you have all these statistics, you have all these features, it just means that the replayability of the franchise mode will grow. Like for me right now, I can play one season and I'm no longer excited because I know the process of each season, but there's nothing that keeps me interested enough. There's just not enough. It needs to be deeper. It's like in the kiddie pool right now with Madden's franchise. I'm in like the diving board with my league. Shoot, felt like I'm swimming in the ocean with my league and MLB The Show's. Shoot, the diving board deep pool is more like NHL right now. Shoot, and a little puddle of water is more like NBA Live. So it's just one of those things where to have something deep to play with. Pause. But that would be a good pause, though.
Yeah,
not for the kids.
That would be, wouldn't it?
But All right, so let's go on. Let's see, combine. I like combine pro days. I'm like just a smaller version of the big combine, and then goes over scouting process. Looks like you can, if you want to. It depends on how much involved you want to be in this process. That's what I believe that's what he's talking about here. It's just automatic, basic, enhanced, and full. I'll probably do full. And then free agency.
I'll probably do enhanced because there's some cases where I would actually want the computer to do it for me because I don't think I'll be able to reach every player. Like either enhanced or just basic out of like I'll get involved. I just can't get involved with all of it.
But do you think every NFL team gets scouts every single player?
Well, I wouldn't say not every player, but I would say like every player at the position of need. That's what I'm saying. I will to be more specific.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be able to get to all of them.
Right. So here's free agency.
Yes, it's so easy to get any player I want with no trouble.
Mm-hmm. And the roster strategy, that's actually in my league a bit, and also in MLB The Show, more or less in MLB The Show. Like in NBA 2K, you have the roster strategy. They have it to where you're either rebuilding, contending, buying. As far as the roster strategy, MLB The Show has it. I don't know all the statuses for MLB The Show, but they definitely have roster strategy in there. I'd never really tinkered with it to know what they have. See team traits. See, teams like the Redskins would be big spenders every year. So that could be like a player whose ambition is mainly financial. Could look at a team like the Redskins. Well, they haven't spent big. Well,
I guess
there are a few cast-offs from other teams that they spent big on, but like before they used to spend heavy in free agency, but they don't really do it that much anymore.
Yeah, I still see that with the Packers to this day. They're stupid passive. They only made one big move out all year that I know of, and that's getting Martellus Bennett.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're almost at the end of this. Almost at the end.
Day-by-day visit system, yes. See,
I always thought that they should switch their franchise mode, not to a week-by-week process, but honestly, a calendar 30-day, day-by-day system altogether. Because they did that in previous Maddens where they had it day-by-day. This is where you can schedule practices, schedule film day. Now we're thinking NFL 2K5 with these. Schedule practice, schedule film day, schedule days where your players can relax, stuff like that. Right now, my league has that. Of course, in MLB, you don't practice because you're playing baseball games almost every single day. 162 games, you're going to be playing every day.
Yeah.
And for my GM, you can adjust what the intensity of the practices. You can set when they have a day off. You can actually set when you give players the day off before back-to-back games. So give us the ability to schedule stuff, film days. Like, because typically teams don't really practice until Wednesday. That's why they don't really give you any like injury statuses, like for sure injury statuses on games until like Wednesday or Thursday. That's why Thursday games are bad for the league.
Yeah, that's when you're really. Oh my god, that's why I'm personally they really need to take off these Thursday night games. I think everybody wants the Thursday night games to be taken off. Now, honestly, if they wanted to do something like, I would have been fine with it if they would have pushed. If they would have did Tuesday. I mean like Tuesday, like say, okay, they take off another Sunday night game and put that one on Tuesday. I probably would have been okay with that. But if not, then like, okay, then just stick with Monday.
That wouldn't work.
Or just have like how they normally did. They had like double headers on Monday night at times.
It wouldn't work because at some point they're gonna be competing with the NBA. Because doesn't the NBA come on Tuesdays? They would compete with the NBA at that point.
Some do, don't they?
Yeah, a lot. No, that's their main Tuesday. Was it Tuesday, Thursday, Fridays, and then they start broadcasting Sunday games like soon as the football season ends.
Oh, okay.
Like you'll see like a couple of Sunday games in the NBA early. That's when if you know, like just after regular season, like if a game is on Christmas and Christmas happens to be on Sunday, they'll broadcast that. But they normally don't broadcast. Like I remember when the Sunday games were on NBC, and the Sunday afternoon matchups were the marquee matchups that started off that week. They would wait until like after the football season to start doing that.
Okay.
So, all right. So, player interest, money, winning, system fit, location, playing time. I'm like, that's all got to be in there. Hidden and perceived ratings. Then we talked about that earlier. I know right now in this, he's giving examples of what. So he's expounding upon what was a franchise setting at the very beginning. So, and again, I'm gonna provide a link in the description to this post so you guys can read all this. We don't need to regurgitate it. Like it's there, it's staying there. Devs are looking at it. Hopefully, they're given the support, the financial backing, and the actual other type of backing to push this forward.
Well, look who I see right here.
Yes, I know. And let's just zoom in on this because I want to see what we're talking about here. See, and look how they had the salary structured at. This is where it looks like you can because look, front load a contract. This is a front loaded. Well, it says it right here, front loaded. But look at the incentive package though. This is what was not in previous Madden games.
That was never in there.
Packages. Throw for 4,000 yards. See, win the division, gets another. And they have difficulty levels. See, that's one thing I like about it. They have difficulty levels. And you can give them, okay, package 1 will be this. Package 2 would be this. And package 3 would be this. It'd be easy, medium, and hard. So Pro Bowl selection. Win Super Bowl. Play 95% of all the QB snaps. So your line better be good. See, again, access of information. 67 of 90. Roster, position grade, market value. Very important. 22 to 25, which I actually gauge them, and according to one statistic, I gauge them at between 20 to 24. But the way the Redskins are playing with fire right now, he may get 26 out of it when it's all said and done. This is what you need in this game for players like myself to be able to continue playing this game multiple seasons, not just one and done. And playing more of No Man's Sky, I'm going to say it right now and repeat. I've played more hours of No Man's Sky than I did of Madden 17.
Jesus Christ.
So you want to talk about something that started off shallow that became deep over time? That game. Not Madden. So, all right. Click off there. Okay. Yeah, we went over goals and incentives. Let's see. Okay, after visit. The draft. All right, let me click on here. That's information, folks. This is Deuce Douglas's vision. I must make that clear once again. This is not going to be in Madden 18. It may not be in Madden 19. We don't know when it will be in Madden. If it will be in Madden, I would like for it to be when But right now it's if, because right now they're just looking at it. But this is information that
I would love to
users
see this
need
as
to be
well.
able to.
It's
What was
absolutely
that?
incredible. I said, I would love to see this as well. Like, absolutely incredible.
So look at another. Let's see. And then there we go. The actual picking of Justin Manning by the New York Jets. Good luck, buddy. So, and of course, they would definitely need the commentary to match what's going on. Oh, yeah, compensatory picks. Compensatory picks. Hopefully I said it right.
Yep, you said
So,
compensatory. You got it right. Full round of the
yeah, the
draft that we
second
missed out on, based on picks on what you lose versus what you sign in free agency.
Madden used to have the draft crowd reactions. That was.
Yes.
Wait a minute, hold up. There's a video of this?
What? No way. Link that.
Okay, shoot, I'll link it and I'll play it. Hold up. Let me check this out.
Might be able to hit it through your end.
Well, we'll see in a second.
Oh, yeah, Madden 08 PC.
Hold up. Let's see if I can turn this up loud.
The first selection of this year's NFL draft, the New York Jets select.
Negative. They got negative.
All right, so I figured, I don't know what sound produced from that. I turned it up as high as I could without overloading the mic. So
They got -1 too. You only went through the
you want
positive.
to play the negative one?
Yes.
Okay.
They're gonna say like there's still time left on that video.
Well, I know that. I just want to. Hold up.
The first selection of this year's NFL draft, the New York Jets select.
Classic.
And there are definitely Philly fans in those seats there.
Oh, you bet.
But you know what? That used to be in Madden. They used to have the crowd reactions, but it just seemed like sometimes it wouldn't make any sense. But hopefully they have what they call crowd AI. They have crowd AI. They would gauge what type of fans they are. NHL secretly has that.
Oh.
They do have what they call casual fans, hardcore fans, and that actually plays a part of how much money you make as you go through the season in NHL. So the NHL secretly has that. Okay, and then you have your draft grades right here. Okay, so
A plus, A, B, B plus, B plus. You know, it's crazy because what if we actually like say in one of the drafts, if we find like a seriously deep draft for like multiple positions, you know, it would definitely be interesting on how the grade for post draft grade would turn out to be. You know, you might see, you know, a couple A pluses, maybe A minuses or A's, or you could see a couple B plus, a lot of B pluses, B minuses, or B's.
All right, so
That's
they
what makes me
have
so interested in how this looks.
so they have undrafted free agency, which right now is kind of just in current CFM format. It's just thrown in there, so you just find who didn't get picked. You have to find them, and which you can do a sort. You can do a query. Not you can't do a query of it. You just go to how many years in the league, and you just sort from there, from lowest, and the ones that have just one, which are your rookies, you just go to them and to see who didn't get picked. But if they had it separately, where you just were picking like a separate like it's listed here, where they have it specifically for the undrafted free agency. Now, I would say they would have to exclude the washed up players combine.
Yep.
Don't put that in the game. Don't have players thinking they can come back after being out the league for a few years, thinking they can come back running 5s and 6s in the 40, and thinking at running back, mind you, and thinking they can play in the game. So definitely they need rookie mini camps, OTAs, and the training camp. You need to have a way where you can evaluate your players and make cuts in trades based on what's going on. Going to be useful. And then the NFL's top 100, like they do every season now. So that would be like an NFL Network thing. So you definitely got to have that. And then let's see where we're just racing through these. Compare players. That's in my league. You can compare players when you're scouting. Standings. And this is just a summary. I'm pretty much just skipping to the end because we pretty much cover a lot.
Yeah, we did, man.
A lot of ground, and
that's a lot of information. This man really did put the time in. I couldn't even. I'm like, sheesh, is this man done? I'm like, God.
And again, the link will be in the description of the post. And like I said, this was originally posted July 16th of last year, and we're pretty much 2 days away from the year anniversary when he posted this. But he recently updated it to include. I'm like, I really can't tell a difference of where he updated, but it's definitely more there than it was when I last saw it before he updated. So he initially put a lot of time into it, but he put a lot more time into it in this update. So I encourage those that are viewing this podcast, this makeshift podcast, the 3 that are watching, I will have a link to it in the description. Just give me time, wait for the video to upload in archives. I will have a link to it in the description. And overall, this is the blueprint this should be the blueprint for franchise going forward. Rex, Clint, if you guys are watching, this is what all franchise players, I don't care if they agree or disagree with what I'm about to say, this is what all franchise players for Madden want in their game. I know I've probably, as an individual, have said this, but when my league dropped in 2014 for 2K15, that ended all negotiations of what franchise mode could be for me. It was either my league or that was it. And then, of course, MLB The Show definitely had their league, their mode where it should have been. So, Pooh, any
no
overall thoughts? You said no?
No, you pretty much hit the nail on the head.
See, I was able to sit there and say, even if they agree or disagree with me, all players will sit here and say, this is what franchise mode needs to be like. This is the level where franchise mode needs to be. that's pretty much it right there. Now, there were some other things I was going to bring up, but I'm going to make a video on that. I'm not going to throw this in the scene. You guys have suffered long enough, and Pooh and myself have suffered long enough to bring you this detailed podcast of it. But we are happy to do it, even though it's at the moment. And I think you guys will enjoy what we have put out there. And definitely give a shout out to Deuce Douglas for creating this masterpiece, this blueprint of what the vision should be for Madden going forward in the franchise. So, like I said, according to, I guess, Madden Universe, shout out to him. This is being heavily looked at by the development team as we speak. I would like to see this man get hired.
Agreed.
Probably be fired. I want him in addition to who they have right there. So, and to have this all play out would be great. So that's my hope for this man to get hired. Well, if he doesn't like his current job, for him to get hired. If he likes his current job, then he can be a consultant. You can make money off of that too. Just unfortunately, if you're dealing with EA, they shiesty with money. So we'll see. But Pooh, you said you wanted to plug something at the very beginning. You was going to wait until the end. So what was it you wanted to plug?
Yeah, it's about my channel, my YouTube channel, Twitch channel, Twitter. For YouTube channel, you can look me up on Spectacular Pooh 24. My football channel, you can look that up as Spec Pooh Football 24. That's 2 channels I use. One strictly for football, which is mainly the Eagles. One strictly for gaming, which is like walkthroughs or anything else I feel like playing. My Twitch channel is Spectacular Pooh 1424, and my Twitter is Spec Pooh Eagles. I could have done the introduction, but I didn't want to really hold up everyone else for, this whole thing with this guy's article, which is just goddamn crazy.
Yeah, and you're right. It deserves the attention that it's getting. Like, he put a lot of time into it, and it's gonna be. And I believe it'll be a huge payoff. And for those that are what I'm doing, of course, you're on my channel, DJ 81's Skins for Life Sports channel. Even though I do sports on here, I also do other gameplays. I also do Battlefield. I think I did a No Man's Sky stream, like when it first came out. You can also find me on Twitter, same name, DJ81. And I gave this a try, and I'm happy for anyone who showed up to watch. This was grueling to go through. I can understand what the Sim Standard podcast, they had the man who created the post and what they had to go through this list. So I'm appreciative of anyone who stopped by. I'm appreciative of Pooh of wanting to come on. I did put the invite out there, and he answered. So thank you. Even though you're still an Eagles fan, you still ain't shit. So, and we'll see, because we see you guys in week 1.
Yep, feelings mutual. I'm getting tired of you guys kicking our ass.
You guys, yes, and it's going to continue. I'm sorry, it's going to continue.
Yeah, okay.
It's going to.
That D-line is nasty. Be ready for that D-line.
You guys always say. You always say that until somebody gets flattened.
This D-line is truly nasty.
Yeah,
but I want you to.
Got a nasty offensive line. I'm like, Sheriff handle this nigga by himself. Threw him to the ground.
You're not going to double team Cox this time. It's not happening. You double team Cox, you got to deal
Paul.
Yeah. Pause, ain't it? I mean, like, it's gonna be pause either way. I mean, like, you either gonna have Cock just penetrate up the middle, or if you go ahead and double team, and then you got and you got to deal with either Barnett or you got to deal with Brandon Green. Out with on that offensive line. Sorry.
Yeah, your whole defensive line is gonna get dealt with. Your whole team is gonna get dealt with. The whole city is gonna get dealt with.
Yeah, all right,
DC
bro. Whatever. Yeah, whatever, bro.
Carson
Wentz, he gonna fry you, man.
I look at it like this. Washington offers a clean sweep of all Philly sports teams because you all suck.
Yeah, all right, bro.
You will have nothing to say. The Caps will win. Nationals will win. Redskins will win.
I don't even follow baseball like that. You talking to the wrong guy when it goes to baseball.
Soccer team will probably beat your Philadelphia soccer team.
Nah, man. From what I hear, the Union's actually pretty good. Don't got whoever the Washington soccer team is, they got no chance. The Union's actually pretty.
Actually, to tell you the truth, our soccer team sucks this year. They are scoring goals like they used to at all. I'm like, soccer is a hard sport to score, but still.
Yeah.
I think last I checked stats, DC United was like ranked last as far as goal scoring in the league. And remember, DC United set off this whole MLS as champions. We were like 4 or 5 time champions before the luck ran out.
It's crazy, man.
We were the trendsetters in MLS, but not anymore.
But yeah, man, I'm telling you, that Eagles Redskins game is gonna be it's pretty much it has to be a must win. Like on Sunday, it has to be.
That is a Monday night game, isn't it?
I believe it is, man. I'm telling you, that shit gonna get crazy. Like, all I want to see is Alshon Jeffrey versus Josh Norman, for real, right along with the defensive line.
Oh, it's going to be a good game. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of shit talking. You know that much.
Man, right. I don't even got shit talk, bro. I'll let the team do the talking.
All right, so we're going to wrap it up. It was a good podcast, good makeshift podcast, two-man fast break.
Yep.
We did it, and we are about to be out. So thanks again to those that stop by. Shouts out to you guys, and I plan on doing this again, or at least we're planning on doing it.
Hopefully with more people this time. Either that or maybe one of these days you might be on the podcast with Science Gamer, because that's what he's trying to do is a podcast. I don't know if you heard about that.
Oh yeah, I remember. It's kind of it seems like a revamp of what he had done before, because I remember he was doing podcasts and had a good following. So
he's trying to bring that back.
Because the most controversial podcast he did was the one. I remember that podcast. It was like Bills. It was like there were other people. BFK. I think it's BFK. He was in that one. And they all, I forgot what they were talking about.
I forgot. What the hell was so controversial about that one?
Mad. It made so many people mad. I couldn't do nothing but laugh. But I think it was around that time where we had the whole NWO in the sim football community, how we had that running. Going crazy over that. I'm like, and of course later we admitted it was a troll thing. But at the same time, it was like, And you know the one thing that people still don't know to this day?
Go ahead.
I don't think people really think about it, but at that time, a lot of people went at virtual for the NWO and everyone else secondary. And in fact, it was me and Bills that came up with the NWO.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The new world.
I'm like, we were talking and we were just like, yo, we were just, because what was it? Apex had called us like outcasts. So I was just like, we're just going to run with it then. We're outcasts.
Wow.
We're out here. And that's what we did. And we had fun. And it was all about fun. It wasn't about like throwing insults at people and whatnot. We were trying to support people. we were showing up at people's videos and leaving comments and stuff like that. See, this is a little tidbit for those that are watching. So it's a little history of the sim football community being revealed today. But yeah, it was myself and Bells. We came up with the NWO, had fun while it lasted. And we had some people join on too. It was funny. We had like we had a former NFL player join. He was like, NWO, I want to be about it. We had Clint. Clint was like, yo, that's hot. About to join on. But in the end, it was all about fun. It wasn't about taking shots at people. Even though technically we did take a shot at people. Take a shot at people that took themselves too seriously. I think one of the things, and I'll wrap it up with this. We've been on here long enough. One of the things in the sim football community that I felt was happening a few years ago is that people were just taking themselves too seriously.
Yeah,
that was becoming a problem. There's a way you can balance where you can have fun doing what you're doing serious. But when you take yourself too seriously and the fun runs out, and then you're getting mad because people aren't as serious as you, then you need to check yourself and not the people around you, because they're trying to bring you back to when these games were about fun. I'm like, in the football community, we want a realistic game. We want competition, and we're willing to help whoever wants to bring that forward. But you gotta, one, be real with what you're doing, and two, you gotta want to have fun when you do it, because you're gonna slip and fall. Like people who do videos, they're gonna slip and fall. They're gonna make mistakes. People are gonna roast you. You just and you have to have a sense of humor, but at the same time, stay on point with the goal of content creation, and also adding to positive feedback to bring realistic football into the market. Right now, it's just Madden. We have Access Football. We have Canuck Sports is going to have the only other football game on Xbox with their Canadian.
And I wish that the best of luck.
Yes, and I definitely wish them the best of luck. I've been following them ever since they first thought about it. And it was one of those things where I wasn't going to just shout them out or try to sponsor them. It was one of those things where I'm watching this cat. I've watched others. Kyle Anderson has one in the making, still waiting on good gameplay or some type of gameplay. I'm like, you have IMV. I think, is it IMV?
Yeah, I'm something like that.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about. That guy that was trying to make the NCAA game.
Yeah, and they're still in development. So you have football options coming. Football is releasing in what, a week? Canuck Sports is
it?
Most of their releases have been July or late July.
Damn.
They're on PC. Then you have Canuck Sports will be on PC and Xbox One. So right now, the alternative to Madden is exclusive on Xbox One and PC. And then we're just waiting for all the others. And apparently Joe Montana 16 came out, no one cared. So
yeah, for mobile.
Yeah, but we want to talk about graphical downgrade.
Shit, that's a downgrade that I saw from that trailer.
It's nothing that trailer. Like I said, it's a dead horse with skull and bones buried, and yeah.
I wonder if Virtual still has those CDs.
Yeah, we're gonna end it right there. We're giving bonus content. If we were getting paid to do this is bonus content. You know what the Joker said? You know what the Joker said in The Dark Knight? If you're good at something, you don't do it for free.
Yeah.
And with that, Good night, bitches. We out.
Later.